Photoshop is everywhere, including at the Bushwick Aberdeen stop along the L train. And this morning I noticed this almost Christmas poster, and it really appealed to me because we're going to apply some of the skills we've learned, including the gradient tool, and we're going to use our PNG cutouts to deconstruct and reimagine ourselves. So what you're going to do today is you're going to download PNGs of you and your buddies. Let's say maybe 6 or 7. That's up to your discretion, and we're going to produce something that looks a little bit like this. So we've talked about parodies. We're going to reconsider the slogan at the top, and you're going to come up with a unique and creative, compelling version of your own, along with the title of the film. So what we're going to do is we're going to sort of stagger our portraits horizontally, and to do that, what we need, of course, is our layers palette open, and we can see, of course, that we've got 6 people right here, right? If we want to swap someone out, so for example, let's say, well, we'll pop out Aegon temporarily and we'll grab Jacob. So how can we drag Jacob in? If we grab the move tool, we can click Jacob and we can actually simply drag him to this tab, the untitled one tab, because we've yet to save it. And we can put him right there. That looks great. And I'm going to drag him beneath his buddies. Great. And when I'm looking at it, I notice that there's some gaps in it, right? So Caitlin doesn't extend to the bottom of the page. What we're going to do is we're going to apply this technique that the graphic designer used when he or she created this poster by applying a gradient, and it's specifically solid to transparent. So how do we do that? How do we create something like this? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new layer above all of the portraits. We're going to jump to the gradient tool, making sure that it's selected. Then what we need to do is make sure that we're going to be selecting this second one where it says foreground to transparent. We see the little checkers there, and if we want to swap out a color, I would recommend a dark color. So let's get maybe a dark green inspired by Lab. Beautiful. So we know that the gradient tool transitions one color to another, or in this case it's transparent, and it works by clicking and dragging. So we could do this. Ooh, you know what? Let's make sure that transparent selected. If it's not, it's going to give us that effect, but we want this effect, right? I also know that when we're doing it like this, let's say I'm trying to obviously make it go straight up, make it perpendicular to the bottom, but that can be a little bit tedious, that can be a challenge. However, if you hold down shift, it's going to go straight up and down. We've got this nice vertical transition, and what we're going to do is we're going to experiment a little bit, and that looks not bad. I certainly prefer the black to that dark green. We're going to be thinking about composition, and once we've got a version like this, we're going to be saving this as first name, last name, Andrew Drozd, and it's going to be almost Christmas, and this is going to be V1, and we're going to save this as a PSD and then also as a JPEG. Okay, so as a PSD, as a JPEG, and then what? Well, next step, what we're going to do is make sure that the move tool is checked. We're going to have auto select layer highlighted. We're going to make sure it's checked, and then we're going to click on each individual. All right, so I can see that jumps to Jasper. We're going to go to filter, and then we're going to filter gallery, and we're going to give each individual on here a different filter. So let's say that this was the filter we wanted for Jasper. We might want to modify the stroke details a little bit, and that looks great. We'll check Caitlin. We're gonna keep doing this. We're gonna go to filter gallery, and let's check under texture. We've got patchwork, we've got stained glass. Let's boost or reduce the light intensity. I don't like the increasing the cell size. Let's reduce the cell size. That looks kind of cool right there. Drop down the border thickness a little bit. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to experiment with each of the filters for all the individuals, and when you're done with that, we're going to save this now as file save as. It's going to be first name, last name, almost Christmas. Okay, but in this case, instead of V1, instead of version 1, it's going to be version 2. Beautiful. And what is the last step? Great question. You're going to press Command A. We're going to press Command Shift C, and what Command A does, of course, is it selects all. Command Shift C copies all the layers, and then we're going to go to one of these images that I took in the subway. We're going to press Command V, and it's going to take up the whole image. So we'll press Command T. I'm going to click the little paperclip. We're going to drop this down to, let's try 33%. Beautiful. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to press 5 for 50%. I'll zoom in a little bit. By pressing 5, we drop down the opacity. We're going to apply the transform function to make it look like it's actually 3D, as if it's actually on the wall of this subway station. So we're going to go to Edit, we're going to go to Transform, and then we're going to go to Distort. That's right. Edit, Transform, Distort. And then what you're going to do is you're going to click and drag each of the corners. And the reason we drop the opacity is so we can see right through it. And you want to make sure that each of the 4 corners is lined up. That looks great right there. We're going to press OK. I'm going to press 0 for 100%. And amazing. Almost Photoshop coming next semester. This is awesome. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot wait to see your work. Let me know if you have any questions. Good luck.